welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Dawn of War Soulstorm. We're returning to this game and I'm very glad we are. We've had a bunch of people sending us some replays and the videos have been pretty well received, so it's nice to be back, isn't it?
It is nice to be back, yeah. I'm a big fan of this game and had considerable more experience with it than I did with the Dawn of War 2. So yeah, keen to be back and casting our players for today, spawning in as our Orks is going to be Randomnoob.
I had to kind of think where the names were actually displayed. The other guy is going to be Meco as our Space Marines. And just Space Marines as well. We don't have to say, oh, he's Force Commander or he's Apothecary. Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah. So this is actually the first time with Caster together in about 2 weeks now. I just came back from Canada, which was actually really cool. I was at the Relic Studios. I had a tour of the studios. I met the devs. Had a chat with them. I actually played Dawn of War 3 as well. I casted some Code 2, which is why I was there. So it was really exciting, actually. Unfortunately, I actually had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I actually can't talk about Dawn of War 3, which is a shame because I do certainly have some opinions about it. So the mystery, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, how was it? How was it?"
What if it was good? So,
what I will say though, I'll be very vague. As I say that it's actually my impressions were quite positive, and it was very reminiscent of Dawn of War 1. It was a lot like DAO 1, not so much like DAO 2. So if DAO 1 is your cup of tea, which I'm sure it is, because obviously you're watching this video, then I think you do have a bit to be excited for.
Indeed, you're right. So Force Commander going to be coming out here for Meco. I believe he started with an extra servitor, a couple of these scout squads as well. So really going quite cap heavy from the looks of things. Starting to throw down some listening outposts on these points.
This map, Meeting of Minds, excuse me, actually has a lot of strategic points.
It does.
Two, 3, 4. We're normally in DAO 1, I think it's normally 3. I suppose Blood River has 4. But there's a lot of maps spread out throughout the map, which I think makes it interesting because then you have... Wow, sick physics, bro. Wow, cool, wow. 2005, I think, physics.
Yeah, the best kind of physics.
Okay, we're going to have the Force Commander here and the Big Mech. They are firing with their very, very powerful pistols. I believe the Big Mech's, his damage is like 3 times the Force Commander.
He's got big damage.
You know what's the most funny thing is when the Big Mech is actually able to win a ranged battle with the Tau hero.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? It's just the Big Mech just sitting there, shooting one-handed. Few sluggers out on the field here for our man Noob. He's hey, he called it that, not me.
Yeah, so, Blake isn't being BM. He's normally a pretty BM guy, but this time
not in this case.
He's just being polite. He's actually going to lose a lot of the shooters here. The listening post combined with the Space Marines. This is actually very costly. Yeah,
a lot of ranged DPS. Going to be dropping a few of these models down. Might even drop another one here. 3 so far, but not an engagement you want to take when the MG upgrade actually does go down.
Oh, this is really strange here. He may lose the entire... Oh no, he gets the reinforcement there, but that's probably about, what, 10 models down, so they're definitely going to be falling behind in the army now, especially if we have more of the Space Marine squads, the Tactical Marines. No sign of an armory just yet. Double power, so probably going to be a quick tech by the sounds of things. I mean, I'm certainly not someone that knows build orders for Dawn of War Soulstorm.
No.
I'm just trying to deduce it here in terms of what you would need to quick tech as opposed to the armory.
Yeah, so one of these Space Marine squads is going to be tied up in the melee. I believe the Force Commander's in there as well, so should be turning the engagement.
Wow, the Big Mech actually teleported out. Yeah, he's pretty low, I suppose.
He ran away. He was quite low. Took a fair bit of damage there. I think the Force Commander was actually melee against him. Slugger's going to be retreating back as well. For the moment, Meco looking pretty good in terms of his map control. Obviously has those couple of gens down, going to be getting pretty decent power income. But I guess the same can be said for... It is Massive Noob, no, Randomnoob, right? Okay,
Randomnoob, right. Yeah.
That might be a little bit BM if I called him Massive Noob, but Randomnoob did actually start off with a couple of generators.
Maybe he's just being really modest. He's like, you know, I'm a great player, but I'm not very good at playing random. Just like how Blake doesn't like playing random in Zero.
Yeah,
his GLA game isn't
because
very
my GLA is terrible. Yeah.
Maybe that's just what he's referring to at least.
I like it.
But the requisition income is actually slightly more there for the Orc Randomnoob. The Space Marine squads, they do have a lot more damage against the shooter boys, but Storm boys actually joined the fight. It's going to be tying up those TAC Marines, and a little bit outnumbered are the Space Marines here.
Yeah, tying up one of these squads going to be absolutely plenty to turn this engagement machine. Forcing the TACs off the map. They are just trying to kite the melee at the moment, as you can do in Dawn of War 1.
Yeah, exactly. There's no movement penalties, or there's no extra damage like Dow 2. Oh, what was that? Was that a grenade?
I think it must have been, yeah.
This could be the squad going down. And we're gonna have the big shooters being upgraded as well. Oh no, they survived. Yeah, it's very anticlimactic in Dawn of War 1, is where squads just like, are they gonna die? Nope, they just keep reinforcing on the field.
Yeah, it's very rare you'll actually see a squad go down. You just see them bled very heavily, which tends to turn engagements. So
it has the armory as well
now.
as the tier 2. Has the chaplain being built. The very powerful hero unit there. Also getting the bionics upgrade, getting the buffs, the upgraded on his Space Marines. Also, he has the plasma pistol and the power sword, so that'll also benefit the chaplain. So it's good to see him making use of that upgrade and going for his chaplain too.
Chaplain as well, yeah. Got to work against the grouped armies as well that we see coming out so far from Randomnoob.
The chaplain, unfortunately, not being in Dawn of War 2. It's actually kind of weird that you have the apothecary as a hero, which really isn't that strong of a unit. I mean, the apothecary in Dow 1 is not even a hero. He's just a healing unit. So yeah, grenades here for the Space Marines as well. Once again, though, the Orcs are pretty outnumbering the Space Marines. These sluggers, for some reason, were firing at range for a while, but
plasma guns are going to come online for the Space Marines, but they're tied up in melee, so it's not really going to do them much good here. Both of the squads going to be forced off. Yeah, some weird engagements. Looks like our Space Marine player Meco is actually taking here.
There goes the Force Commander.
See you later.
I wonder if he'll go for the Librarian as well. The map control, I think, is... Oh, it's actually, the resources are dead even, but with this many squads on the map, we could start to see some of these listing posts be sniped down by all these shooters.
How many squads have the big shooter upgrade? Just that one at the moment with a mech on it, and then I guess you got 2 Storm Boys there.
And a Slugger.
And Sluggers as well at the moment, so...
And he lost one of his initial squads. The big shooters actually outranges the listing post. I think so does the heavy bolters for the Space Marines, but using the Chaplain's taunt ability, so it gets the morale damage down. And here come the Storm Boys, they're jumping in. We may want to see some more melee units, but the grenades will actually disrupt the Storm Boys for a while.
Yeah, double disruption's going to be nice.
Yes, my lord.
No Force Commander.
Getting a bit of damage down. Yeah, no Force Commander here to turn the engagement.
It's really important that these Space Marines are tied up because there's so many plasma guns. And the Storm Boys are actually heavy melee, so heavy infantry, so they'll take a lot of damage if they're not in melee.
It certainly looks like they are at the moment. It's incredibly hard to tell how Dawn of War 1 engagements are going, but it seems to be in favor of our Orc man.
And this is actually really costly because every model he drops is also losing the plasma gun. So maybe he should be reinforcing rather than getting upgrades. I think he is now, but during that fight he was actually getting more and more plasma guns. It's going to be a scout squad going down too.
Yeah, ends up falling.
Maybe he could have gone for the snipers.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, maybe potentially if the Force Commander was still up, but could have tried to turn an engagement, but it didn't really have anything to deal with double Storm Boys.
Not really much power here either. I think what he really want would be a Dreadnought against this many Storm Boys. The Dreadnought would be fantastic, but they're quite expensive as far as the power is concerned. This is actually a really bad engagement for the Space Marine to take here. He's just so outnumbered. He needs to reconsolidate near these 2 points especially. He'll have the 2 listing posts there, but now at least he has the Force Commander. Oh, Knob squad! Wow, that's pretty high tier actually. Oh, was that GG? Oh, Psydog, no, that's an observer. Okay.
Right, as you do.
As the Sacred Relic, going for the Librarian now.
Yeah. Sacred Artifact going to be required for that one. Nice play here from Randomnoob, sniping down some of those listening posts.
Grey Knights, yeah.
Okay,
I forgot about those. They would have been an excellent investment quite some time ago, because they would have dealt with the Storm Boys very effectively. I think that's maybe one of his biggest mistakes, is not going for the Grey Knights. A lot of damage, though, from the plasma guns now. The grenades are preventing them from getting up close. Wow, look at this.
Yeah, this is brutal. Shredding them down.
Has the Thunder Hammer as well on the Force Commander.
Now they should be able to turn around. Here are the Grey Knights coming in.
Yeah, we're going to see the Sonic Storm. I think it's what it's called. But these knobs are so powerful in melee. They will completely mess apart these Space Marines. The Grey Knights may be a bit of an even trade, but actually teleports the knobs away. I'm surprised he didn't commit to that fight.
Yeah, now he's going to have to run in against these plasma guns. Should take a bit of damage on the way, and if he decides to continue to take the engagement, he's actually backing away for the moment.
It's actually sort of tank busters here. Not really having many tanks to bust, however.
Nothing on the field yet, Machine.
4 minutes until taken hold victory.
So that's actually for the Orc player that taken hold. So it has to decap these. It's a shame that he lost his scouts. That was a pretty silly move to throw them scouts away, because he could decap those critical points would be really clever.
Whereas at the moment it's quite hard for him to actually split up these units. Really requires all of them to make the composition work.
Another squad of the tank busters, they're infiltrated as well. Okay, there's a Psychic Storm. I think Psychic Storm is Eldar, but it's a storm of some kind.
Is it called Smite or something in?
No, that's the Librarian, isn't it?
Yeah, might be.
Because he also has an ability too. The Force Commander will go down. Actually, so does the Big Mech as well. Yeah, there we go. Nob's proving the superiority in melee, but I think these Grey Knights should be enough here, especially with the Chaplain and the Librarian.
Yeah, Fresh Storm Boy's going to be jumping in as well here, but pretty much dealt with. The Grey Knights really have been a turning factor here. There's the morale damage down to the Storm Boys as well, so they're getting absolutely shredded to pieces.
Still more plasma guns.
Grey Knights now going to be tying out those shooters at the back. They're going to be under fire from these towers.
Yeah, the War Banners.
Yeah.
It's how they tech up, is War Banners, which is, they're also kind of a defensive cannon. They're pretty weak, I suppose, though.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of DPS,
but also, the Space Marine player has to make sure he decaps these points. As for the Orc player, he's actually going for his Orky fort. I'm not so familiar with the Orc tier structure. He must also have the... Oh, there it is, the pile of guns, the armory equivalent. But that's the GG. Yeah.
I guess
what
getting...
do we say, Blake? How do we analysis this game?
I suppose just getting that those initial couple of squads of Storm Boys kind of caught out as the Grey Knights came in the field, and they took so much damage from the plasma guns, and the Storm Boys just didn't jump in to melee. They just ran up. They just tried to run up to double squad of Space Marines with plasma guns. They ended up like dropping both of the squads there, and then it was just a just a follow up from there. Or the Grey Knights getting adding on additional members on the field, and then yeah.
Yeah, maybe,
surprising turnaround, actually.
Maybe it would have been worth getting a Death Dread, just given how much plasma guns there were, the commanders. There was no anti-tank at all, or anti-vehicle, I suppose. Whereas then, on the other hand, the Orc player actually invested a considerable amount going in the anti-vehicle. He had 2 squads of tank busters, and he had the infiltration upgrade, which were too early. So he was 2 squads down. Which obviously gave the infantry advantage to the Space Marines, and he had more heroes as well. But yeah, the Storm Boys, even from the very start of the game, he was dropping a lot of models there on the Storm Boys. So maybe just a bit better unit preservation would have helped keep him alive and have the bigger army. As Orcs, you obviously need to outnumber your opponent considerably, and especially against like the Space Marines with those heavy weapons. You want to just keep tying them up. He lost also a squad of sluggers pretty early on. Even if the squads aren't necessarily doing that well, as long as they're preventing those plasma guns from dealing the damage out, then that would make a big difference.
Cool, enjoyable. Well, thank you for joining us for this Dawn of War Soulstorm Shoutcast. We hope to bring you more. We certainly enjoyed the Dawn of War content.
Exactly, and just a matter of time. You know, it's only going to be like a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah,
Until we start casting Dawn of War 3.
It's in the days,
day
man.
now.
It's any day now. I'm expecting the announcement to come through. So.
Yeah, I mean, basically, there's going to be an email that's like, Generals and Gentlemen have exclusive rights to Shoutcast this video game. Nobody else are allowed to for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
All we have to do in exchange is sell our soul to Relic.
Yeah.
But I'll do that gladly.
It's worthwhile. No worries. Yeah. It seems like a good trade-in, really. I wasn't using it.
Yeah, but no, hey, it's been fun. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you want to see more Soulstorm, and if you do want to support the channel, then you can do so via our Patreon. All the links for it are in the description, since we are doing the YouTube full-time and posting these videos every day to the channel.
Thank you.
Yeah.